The Stephenson Cardiac Imaging Centre opened in 2005. It was a partnered initiative between cardiac sciences and diagnostic imaging, and really was fostered by an incredible commitment from several individuals to come together and form what is now one of the world's premier sites for cardiac MRI.
This is a normal valve, right? Yeah. It's like a Mercedes symbol.
I have been at the Stephenson Centre since the early 2000s when the centre was first developed. When I got here, I discovered that Calgary had recruited from Germany this team of essentially German cardiologists and scientists who were developing an imaging program.
It's extended beyond MRI into areas of echocardiography, CT, other imaging modalities, as well as basic science as well. So I think there is a lot of advantage to the expertise that the Imaging Centre provides here.
Hi there. Are you ready? I'm Sandra. I'm going to take you in.
A lot of people are very nervous when they come to see us, whether it's because of claustrophobia or anxiety about the results of their test. So the more time that we spend with them, reassuring them, explaining the procedure to them, and not making them feel rushed, we find that they do a lot better and can stay in our scanner as long as we need them to.
How are those vitals looking?
With the heart, it is a bit of a challenging structure to image. It moves, it beats, and some patients have arrhythmias, so it moves irregularly, and so you have to have the ability and very high-level machinery to capture that sort of active motion of the heart and make something of it.
We'll often get referrals for patients who have a failing heart for uncertain reasons, and MR opens a window into investigating various reasons for that and allows physicians to make diagnoses where they couldn't easily make diagnoses before.
The powers of imaging is that you can really model for the surgeon exactly what the heart looks like before they go into the heart and show them exactly what they might be faced with, and then allow them to plan what they might do based on what we see.
At the basic science level, we work with people like Dr. Paul Fedak, Dr. Derek Exner, Dr. Noel Fine in developing new techniques so cardiac imaging can impact on patient care down the road.
One of the things that they're really interested in is tissue characterization, better understanding the heart muscle and how we can image it.
This is showing the sort of tricuspid configuration of the valve. And then
we can image, with the aid of contrast, the scar that is existing in the heart. Some newer techniques have been evolving, which we won't need contrast for, where we can look a little bit closer and see things like diffuse fibrosis when the whole heart is affected rather than just one area.
My relationship with the Stephenson Clinic is mainly as a research collaborator. We're working on some very exciting research protocols. I, of course, refer my patients to the Stephenson Centre all the time as a heart failure cardiologist.
Thank you.
The collaborative environment at the center is just remarkable, between cardiologists and radiologists, technologists and the staff. And as a fellow, this provides for a training experience that is probably only available in a handful of places around the world.
We are in the fortunate position right now to have a number of incredibly talented students that are really pushing the boundaries of knowledge and developing new techniques in cardiovascular MRI.
All of my projects focus on how metabolic diseases, so how diabetes or obesity or metabolic syndrome affect the heart before we get clinical presentations of cardiovascular disease. So what does diabetes in the heart look like before a diabetic patient has had an infarction or a heart attack?
When I was in CCU, we were treating the illness at the time, but we weren't being proactive. Research is about being proactive, and that's what intrigued me, because I thought, okay, I can be a part of a group that makes a difference, that actually is looking for betterment of patient care or for a cure.
In Japan, there was not much research time, and most of my time was occupied with clinical duties. That was not what I really wanted to do. I really wanted to focus on research, and I'm very happy to be here to have time and all the resources to do the research.
If we're doing the research, then we can actually see those healthcare dollars or those philanthropy dollars that come in to help us in the future to find a cure or to find just better treatments, better management of patient care.
It will shorten their stay in hospital. It will allow them to have fewer tests performed, And ultimately, that leads to more cost-effective care.
The cost of having someone in hospital can run $1,500 a day. Getting someone out a few days earlier because you got on the right track faster can make an immense difference.
The healthcare for Albertans in this area will be much diminished without this facility. The success of this comes from the people they have and all the projects they have done and all the external research grants they have pulled in. For such a small group of people, the output is huge.
Ken is the life of this center.
Hi, how you doing?
It's so important to him, and I think that's so important to any functioning team, is to have a cheerleader and to have someone behind them.
You know, the center is world class. We're very fortunate to have it in Calgary to service Calgarians. We do 3,600 scans a year now.
Hi, it's Echo calling from South Health Campus in Stephenson Cardiac MRI.
It's really exciting that the Stephenson has grown to the size that we have and that we have a second location now. We have a brand new scanner and we're able to offer both clinical and research services at both sites and double our capacity.
What kind of case is this?
We've grown from a small town on the prairies that had no access to cardiac MRI to one of the busiest clinical centers in North America, no question about that, and a major research institution that everyone in the MRI world knows about.
We can't do these types of programs without support from the community, and it really takes a champion, somebody like Ken Stephenson, who can help promote and raise the funds necessary to keep a program like this going for the future.
Ken is a unique individual. He is really why this center is what it is today. He has been there from day one, and through both the prior directorship and my directorship, offers counsel, advice, and support weekly, and we see him on a regular basis.
Super image.
It's really beautiful.
Great.
He maintains the relationship between us and the philanthropists. It is really through that latter foundation and relationship that we are able to do what we do.
Ken's totally engaged in this project. He treats this like one of his own private businesses, and that assured the success of this organization.
The biggest thing I can say that the center has done in terms of my future and my career is it has really modeled what a strong team looks like, what a true mentor looks like, and I've been very fortunate to have two here, and what leadership looks like. And I think when I move towards a career as a clinician scientist, I have that in my back pocket.
It is really a prime example of how philanthropic donations can actually support the development of a world-leading center, now leading academically and clinically in the field of cardiac MRI.
Without philanthropy, there's no research, and without research, there's no clinical, so you'll be glad you invested in our project.
The community is a lot more engaged with healthcare, and a lot of wealth is created in this community, and a lot of people are most generous in giving back.
Everybody can be involved in bettering a patient's life for the future.